So in practice, what should we do if we want to create a world that Rand would approve of, where individuals are empowered to deliver their unique contribution to the world, where we keep more of our own money, create wealth, accrue the value of our data to our own personal balance sheets? What should we do? Well, I believe there are a number of steps that need to be taken to rebuild society in Rand's image. First of all, we need to teach young people about money. I'm increasingly convinced that the lack of financial literacy and understanding of financial issues has led to a growing percentage of people in society being financially, how shall I say it, dumb. If you don't understand the basics about money, you can pretty much get yourself messed up early in life, and then you're looking for someone to bail you out all of your life. Enter the state which is only too happy to do this for you. Secondly, we must publish the balance sheets of sovereign states so that common people can see the fat in the system and the enormous spending and lack of accountability. One of my great frustrations through all of these referendums is that it's been a numbers-free zone. There's no published balance sheet. Things like the auditors of the EU, European Commission, refusing to sign off on the accounts of the European Commission. The fact that this goes on and that people accept it and that this information does not become part of the common knowledge drives me nuts. And we must position entrepreneurs as society's problem solvers. I remember being on Question Time in roughly 2011 in Leeds and saying that the National Health Service should be opened up to British digital healthcare entrepreneurs who could solve the problems if they were only let loose to apply strong business models, lean infrastructure, build new digital revenues for the benefits of British citizens. And I was booed, I remember. Not that I cared, but I was booed. And I remain convinced that that's the only future for the National Health Service. We must fight the language of market failures everywhere. My friend Dambisa Moyo, who wrote the seminal book, Dead Aid, which caused people around the world to really see the tragedy of spending aid money on Africans, which was impoverishing them. One of the world's most important philanthropists, I'll let you guess which one, refused to shake her hand because it so challenged what he was doing to continue to drive this aid into Africa. We at Entrepreneur Country are working with Kimberly-Clark and Unilever on a project called the Toilet Board Coalition, which quite differently than what is happening in so much of the public health sector is a completely for-profit initiative. Basically, 2.4 billion people live in a world without sanitation. And the toilet board is basically harnessing the power of corporates like Kimberly-Clark and Unilever, Tata, and others to back entrepreneurs to solve the problems of sanitation, to explicitly lift people up into a world where they can have economic value. The reason why people just say, oh, well, that will continue for the next 20 years is because those individuals don't appear to have any economic value. And the Toilet Board Coalition is basically saying we're going to close that figure 8 between the cycle into an investment cycle and the return on investment by basically putting entrepreneurs on the case to bring sanitation devices and services to market, which are going to create economic actors out of those 2.4 billion people. And finally, we must establish ecosystem economics, our investment methodology, which is part of what we take to market every day. What we mean by ecosystem economics is optimize for the system level win. The world is more about connections, networks, interdependence than ever before. Does this nullify Rand and her view of the individual? Far from it. You can't play in an interdependent world if you're not first independent. If you're not first an adult, you can't contribute to the world around you. I don't think that Rand was arguing for selfishness when she put self-interest high on the agenda. She just recognized that there is an inherent trade in all interactions. A supreme systems builder, she understood that all aspects of the universe are interconnected, that there's one universe where every entity is related in some way to all others. No aspect of the total can exist apart from the total. We're related through the laws of cause and effect. Each person is linked to everything else that exists.